In this video, we're going to test the tail command with the follow option. I've got two terminal windows open in an Ubuntu virtual machine on VirtualBox, and VirtualBox is running on a Windows 10 machine. I'm going to go to the top terminal window and I'm going to just do the tail command. I'm going to do man on the tail. So the help manual for the tail command. Let's see what happens here. Let's make this window big and we scroll down. Right in this area we see the follow option, and as the file grows the output appends data. So as we add lines, the output will also add lines on the screen as we save them, and it will do it in real time. We'll go ahead and shrink that, and we'll go ahead and quit and clear the screen. And what I'm going to do is open a text file in Nano that I already had established. We won't have to recreate it and all that. So we've got 3 lines that just say log line, whatever the line number is. Let's go to the bottom window, and I also have this saved in the command history, and we're just going to say tail, test log, and then the follow. So tail, file name, and then the follow option. We will get the 3 lines in the file and a blinking cursor at the bottom. So that cursor is waiting for new lines to appear. And let's see exactly how that behaves. So we'll go to the top window. We're in Nano. Let's add a 4th line. And the changes are not actually saved until we write them out. So we'll hit Control-O and confirm the file name, and voila, in the bottom window and in the top window we see that 4th log line. I'm going to add some more. Let's go ahead and save that out. We've added 3 lines. Write it out. And we see our 3 additional lines that we've added. We've got lines 1 through 7. I'm going to add a few more lines, see if anything changes on this. We're going to see what it does with 10 lines. If I could type. Okay, so we show our 10 items in the log file, and I'm going to delete that 10th line now. Let's go ahead and save that. And so we've got an indication that the file has been truncated, and so it went back to line 1 and showed the 9 lines of output. So if you shrink the file, it's going to indicate that the file was truncated, which really just means you deleted a line and made the file smaller when you saved it. And then it's going to re-output the lines. And then you're going to have, I'm going to make this window active, you're going to have that blinking cursor waiting for something to change. So let's go ahead and add a 10th line and see what happens. Okay, so same as before, we have the 10th line added. I'm going to add an 11th line and see what happens there. So pretty much consistent with how it behaved before. Now, I played around with this before I recorded the video, and one of the things that's a little problematic is if you inadvertently add blank lines. We've got a nice, up here on Nano, we've got a nice pristine text file that ends at line 11, and it goes down to the beginning of the next line, but there's no blank spaces or further output. If you have a blank line in there, it seems to kind of misbehave a little bit on the output below, and you'll get some letters missing on the log lines that have changed. But for the most part, it's a pretty useful command. And where I could see it being useful is in a couple of ways. If you have a process that is logging something and you want to see what the log file is doing in real time, this is a great command for that. And then another thing where it would be helpful is if you were using a source code debugger where you had the code in one window and you had the tail with the follow command in another window. And as you're stepping through the code, you may have an instruction that writes a line to a file, and it may be conditional, there may be something going on there, but you want to see where you are in the source code when that line to that file gets written. And it'll give you a lot of insight into how your program and how your source code is behaving. So it's a very good debugging tool. I really like this. It's a very simple command, but it is so useful in a lot of ways.
Ow!